Sit yourself on the oath and have a seat right there. Right, I'm going to ask you to pull that microphone down in front of you. It kind of moves around, so you want to move it, and you can bend that, yeah, and then you need to lean forward and put your mouth very closely to it, and remember, even though there's a microphone there, everyone has to hear you all the way back there, so you have to project when you speak. It's a little unnatural, I know.
Thank you, President. Please tell us your full name and spell your last name.
Tara Dixon, D-I-C-K-S-O-N.
And how old are you?
25.
Are you presently working?
Yes.
And what kind of work do you do?
I bartend and manage.
And where do you bartend and manage?
The Score Draft Room,
And where is that located?
East Exchange Street at Akron University.
And how long have you done that for?
About a year.
Prior to that, did you work as a bartender?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I worked at Papa Don's Pub for about 3 years. I started in 2012.
2012 then to 2015?
The beginning, yes.
Beginning of 2015.
Yeah.
And when you left 2015, was there a reason why you left?
There was just a lot going on after the incident and a lot of changes. So.
In regards to Papa Don's, where is that located?
1891 East Market Street in Akron.
That's in Summit County, Ohio?
Yep.
While working with them, were you familiar with Tiffany Miller and Justin White?
From there, yes.
Tell us, did you know either of them prior to working at Papa Don's?
No.
And did you have any kind of relationship, or did you socialize with them outside of the bar?
After a while, yeah, it's one of those things where when you work with someone for so long, you start to socialize. So yes, we did go out, go to concerts, stuff like that.
Now, as a result of the incident that you referred to, did you come to know an individual by the name of Keenan?
Yes.
And prior to the night we're going to talk about, number 15, were you familiar with that?
Yes, but not by name, but I recognize him.
You recognized him, but you didn't know his name.
Correct.
And how did you recognize him?
He was a patron at the bar, I would say, about a handful of times I saw him.
And was there any kind of routine or regular situation in which he would come into the bar?
Sort of, I would say that I saw him a lot on Sundays for football. Occasionally, like I said, a handful of times here and there. He usually sat in the back by himself, pretty quiet, self-kept.
Did he come for a specific team, or did you know if he was in the team?
I'm going to say Chicago Bears.
What else do you know about him? Anything else?
He usually ate wings. He liked the wings. And he usually drank either 1800 or Ciroc.
guess those are kind of things that the bartender remembers, but they were just drinking. Anything else personally about him that you're aware of?
No.
Let's talk about November 15th, that evening, when you working that night.
Yes.
And back then, what was your schedule as far as how often you worked during the week?
I worked 4 to 5 nights a week, dependent. Schedule, we usually started about 5 or 6 p.m. and worked until close.
And on that evening, was that your schedule, 5 to 6 p.m. until close?
Yes.
And you recall who else was working that evening?
Courtney Jewett, Jeffrey Bates was the bar back, and Scotty was in the kitchen.
And you recall seeing Keenan Ivory that evening?
Yes.
What's your first memory of seeing him?
My first memory of seeing him was he was walking around kind of socializing, which was unusual from what I had seen in the past. Just kind of walking around. He got a couple drinks, got some wings. There were 2 ladies. I'm not sure how well he knew them, but he sat at the bar with them for a while, got them a few drinks.
Now, did you wait on him initially? Were you the first bartender to take his order?
I'm not sure. No.
Did you eventually take an order from him?
Yes.
And when you take an order, is there a record of the cash register as to which bartender did that?
Yes.
And do you recall what he ordered from you?
From me, I specifically remember he ordered shots, or I think they were, I believe they were shots, for the women that he was sitting with, and 1 or 2 for himself.
And so you would write that up in the cash register, correct?
Yep.
Did you pay for it immediately?
No.
Were you aware that he had made any prior orders with Courtney at that time?
No. But he did order wings, so actually, yes. Yes, he did order wings. No, I was aware of that.
He had ordered wings through Courtney.
I believe so.
When at any time did you realize that there was any issues or problems at the bar involved in this relationship?
There was a point in time when I saw him and Tiffany talking. I would say, I'm standing behind the bar, it was over in the right-hand corner. They were at a distance, so I couldn't really see or hear what was going on, but Tiffany did appear upset, and Keenan appeared very angry.
And you see the diagram that's to your left, correct?
Yeah.
If you use this, if you need to get down, you can. Now, you've given us a couple of directions as to where this occurred. Can you show us, once again, here's the entrance to the bar, here's the L-shaped bar area. And when you saw Tiffany and Keenan Ivory talking, what area was that? You pointed what we call kind of the south end of the bar?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And where were you when you were seeing that?
I was somewhere in here. But,
And are you stationary for long periods of time?
no. Oh, no.
Where were you? When you say you're not stationary, what's that?
Because we do a lot when we're working, we, especially at Confidant, you serve tables, you serve the patio, and you supervise the kitchen. So you're constantly running back and forth from the north to the south end of the bar, as you could call it, to the patio and to all the tables as well.
When you saw Tiffany and Keenan Ivory talking, were they seated or they standing?
They were standing.
They were standing?
Yes.
And did you notice or did you gauge how long this period of time that was going on?
I would say 5 to 10 minutes.
And you indicated that she I should have been done for you.
A bunch of body language, she appeared very upset.
Were you able to hear anything that she actually said?
No.
As far as Keenan Ivory, how did you feel?
He appeared angry, there was some hand waving going on. Same thing, really, body language.
Based upon the body language you got, did you hear anything that he said? You indicated that went on for about 5 to 10 minutes. You're doing a lot of things, correct?
Yes.
What's the next thing that you remember in regards to what's going on with those 2 individuals?
The next thing I remember was Tiffany and him coming over to the bar. Keenan took a seat where he was seated at the bar, and Tiffany asked for a box. She said, can I get a box? This gentleman will be leaving.
Now, have you heard Tiffany in the past use that type of line?
Yes, oh yes.
And what usually are the circumstances when she says, this gentleman, I need a box, this gentleman is leaving?
Usually it means that something had occurred, something happened, she was uncomfortable, or somebody else was, or they were upset with him, so they were asking him to leave.
And so ultimately, you made the conclusion based on hearing that before that she was asking him to leave.
Yes, correct.
What happened next?
Either I got the box, somebody got the box, and it was handed to him, and I believe Tiffany actually went to box the wings, and that's when he then kind of pushed the wings away from him towards, down towards the other end of the bar as if he was uninterested, and I do recall that he left at that point.
Now, after she said that the box of the food, this gentleman was leaving and paid?
Yes, he also paid his tip.
He paid prior to Tiffany telling you that. She tells you that you get his receipt and give it to him?
Yes.
And you remember how he paid?
Cash.
And how do you remember that he paid cash?
He had a lot of cash like a lot of cash.
He had a lot of cash. And you indicated earlier that the transaction would have been recorded, correct?
Yeah.
They hand you with the mark for identification purposes, it states Exhibit 14, and that's what they want to identify that.
Yep.
What do you identify that exhibit to be?
His tab, or number 10 would be correct, his tab from that evening, a couple straps, and then the sky and red wool was for one of the ladies, and so was the cherry or grape bomb was for one of the ladies that he was with.
Okay, so there's a total of how many shots altogether?
4.
And you recall him drinking specifically which one of those?
It was one of the straps.
You indicated, that's right, it was number 10, what you're referring to.
The bar seats are numbered behind the bar from 1 all the way around, and it starts here at 1, and then it goes down, so bar 10 would have been in the same location.
And is there a date and time that you received?
Yes, the date is November 16th, 2014, and the time is 3:47 a.m.
It says 3:47 a.m., that's after closing, correct?
Yes, because whenever you print these checks, it prints the time that you print the check, not the actual time that the order was taken.
So was there actually a receipt that was printed out and given to Ken Ivory at the time that he was asked to leave?
Yes.
Is that not in that receipt?
No.
Do you know where that receipt came from?
This one was, this is the one I printed, I do believe, after the fact.
So this is after the fact that the police asked you to go back into that cash register
Yes.
and print out a receipt
Yes.
for that occurred. And this is a true accurate copy of that receipt that you gave to the police later that morning? Now, from the time then that Tiffany had said the gentleman was leaving, did he leave pretty much immediately, or did a decent amount of time go by?
I remember it being fairly immediately, but I can't recall exactly how long it was.
Do you remember actually seeing him go out?
No.
Did you see any interaction between him and Justin Weinberger when he exited the bar?
No, I did not.
Was there a time he returned?
Apparently, yes.
So you did not see him?
I did not see him.
Can you tell us what you recall happening in regards to later that morning?
I remember after he had left, it had been probably about 15, 20 minutes, I would say. I was behind the bar, and I remember Tiffany saying very loudly, "I thought you were asked to leave." And that is when my mind triggered that he had come back.
So you know Tiffany, you recognize her voice, is that correct?
Yeah.
Where were you when you heard that?
I was at somewhere far end of the bar, but not as far down as he was, I would say.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but from your testimony indicates you don't see her say that, but you can hear her voice.
Yes,
And is it a raised voice?
yes,
You worked in a bar several years. Is there a difference to you as regards to the voice which is being stated over music as opposed to a loud voice?
yes, there's a loud, assertive voice, and then there's a loud, yelling, angry voice, I would say.
You can detect that just by listening to people, correct? You hear typically say, I thought you were asked to leave. Do you hear any other voices that you recall at that time?
No.
What's the next thing you do recall here?
The next thing I recall was hearing a loud noise. I thought that it was a table chair falling. And then I remember hearing somebody yell that he had a gun. And then that's when I heard the gunshots.
Do you recall how many gunshots you thought you heard?
I would say 5 or 6.
What happened next?
That is when I ran to the opposite end of the bar, and there was a panic button underneath the bar that I tried to hit. It's like a silent alarm. So I tried to hit that, and whenever I discovered that I couldn't find it, I ran to the telephone. I called 911.
And where was the telephone located?
In the office.
And so how much time from the shooting until you were able to find the phone and call 911?
Not very long, maybe 10 seconds.
And were you able to get through and talk to a 911 operator?
Yes.
This time around, I would have permission to leave 911 call.
No objection.
Is it marked as a certain exhibit?
It's in the computer ready to type, we'll mark this as exhibit 15.
It was like at the front door, like in the crossing, so we have to get it out. Okay. You like scream? Yes, I think somebody has been hit. I'm afraid to look out the door. I'm not know why. Okay. Thank you so much. We're going to get someone out here. Okay. No. If you hear it, I'm not going to talk to now. They're on their way. If you're gone, it's a 50 for down to the girl. Come on. It's okay. Come in here. I'll turn the gas on. I don't know. This is getting started. They're in here. I don't know. There's a black guy before you have a black jacket and black glasses, right? Yes. About 5, 7, maybe, 5, 7, 8. I was wearing a black peacoat, black with thick gray glasses. Came up to university. Yeah, I did a lot of money on it, too. I remember that. A peacoat with a military style jacket, yeah. Yes, that's when I was blue. No. Okay, we need to ambulance here now. Setting up, don't have to get them for the hour, saying that we we have officers down here to check them out. Why are you better? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, where's the guy with the gun? Where's the guy with the gun? I have no idea. I can find out if you want me to ask someone. Yes, you did. Okay, if you want to. It
repetition of the phone call you made?
Yes.
When you initially made the call, in what part of the bar were you located?
In the office.
And were there other individuals? It didn't sound like you were alone. Did other individuals come into the office then?
Eventually, yes, I was in the office alone with the door closed, and then I finally got up the courage to open the door, and two girls came sobbing towards me, and that's when I let them into the office.
Were you familiar with either of those girls?
One of them, yes.
What was the one that you were familiar with? What was her name?
Jody.
And what does Jody look like?
She's very skinny, brunette, short hair, brunette, it's usually curly.
And she was with another girl that was also, you said, sobbing?
Yes.
And you were not familiar with her?
No, she was a shorter, blonde girl.
And you let them into the office at that time?
Correct.
When you're making the call, through the entirety of the call, you stayed in the office?
No, there was actually a point in time where after I let them into the office, I come back out, and that's when you can hear people asking me for towels, people saying that they need an ambulance. And that's when I started to run around and ask everyone where the shooter had went.
In regards to, you mentioned at one point he had a lot of money. Was that's from your own recollection of what had happened that night?
In there, yes, when they said it, it brought that memory back to me. I would have never thought to tell the operator that otherwise.
So you're getting information from people, from the girls, as well as from the God in the bar, you're getting information from other people. Is that correct?
Correct.
And when you said the bottom money, who else gave you that information?
The girls and myself. After they said it, it brought that memory back.
And that being the brunette and the blonde girl.
Correct.
In regards to, you mentioned that it was a 40. Is that from your independent knowledge of what had occurred, or did you also receive that information from one of the girls?
That was from the girls directly. I do not recall that.
And did you know which one of those two provided that information to you?
Can't recall.
One of those two that helped gave you that information?
Yes.
When you give a description of the shooter, where's that information coming from?
That came from me, and you can actually hear me ask them, yes, because they were in the office with me, and I was using this hand motion as in, help me out, give me some more information. And I said that, and then I asked them, yes, and they nodded, and they said yes.
You try to describe keen and accurate to the best of your ability?
Correct.
Going back to, I think one area that we have to ask about, when Keith and I had left the bar, do you know what the status of his food was at that time?
I do. We had given him a box for him to box them, and that's when I said that he pushed the wings away in the basket, and they were never actually put into the box.
Okay. Do you know whether those items would have been left out there on the bar until the time of the shooting?
I don't believe so, no. We were pretty good about cleaning things up.
And after you made the 911 call, what do you do at that time?
At that time, that was when I saw Michael Capes, who had been hit in the foot. And I remember seeing him and asking the ambulance to, get somebody else in there for him. And that was when I ran out onto the front porch, and I saw Tiffany pulled up in the corner crying, and I remember grabbing her, and I remember saying, why are you not on the ambulance with him? And then I tried to run her over and get her on the ambulance, but didn't want to.
In regards to Michael Capes, do you remember where he was located when you realized he was shot with the weapon?
He was sitting at the table at the north end of the bar.
Okay. Pointing to the one square table.
Sorry, correct. Okay. Yep.
Just a moment. No further questions.
We're almost done. The evening that you worked you were going to work roughly from 5 to 6 to close.
Correct.
That would have been approximately 10 hours.
Yes.
And when the shooting took place, so in your shift,
Yes.
and you observed Keenan Ivory talking to Tiffany, did you observe them talking more than once?
Not that I recall.
You remember having an interview about an hour and a half after the shooting with representatives of the police department?
Yes.
And you remember telling them that Tiffany and Mr. Ivory were having a conversation about benefits that occurred earlier that evening?
I do not recall.
You recall telling the officer, the representative, that Keenan and Tiffany were talking about the football team, and that his son was on the football team?
I do not.
When Keenan was in the bar, when you first observed him in the bar, did you observe him mingling with other patrons?
You could say that.
And when he was mingling, what was his demeanor when he was mingling?
He was, I would say he was a little more approachable than usual. He was interacting more than usual.
During your direct testimony, you indicated that Mr. Ivory normally kept to himself, and that he usually ordered wings and some type of Ciroc as a vodka, is that correct?
Yes.
This night, it was more, as you say, interactive and approachable. By that, do you mean that he was a little more friendly?
No.
Okay. What do you mean by approachable?
I would say he was putting himself out there to socialize more than usual.
He bought some drinks for some women, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And did you hear any complaints from those women that night about Mr. Ivory's demeanor?
I do not recall.
Had you seen Mr. Ivory in the bar before?
Yes.
And would you say that you had seen him in the bar plenty of times?
I would say a handful of times.
If an officer came in here and testified later that you told that officer during the interview that he was a regular and that he'd come in plenty of times, would that refresh your memory?
No.
Okay. In terms of Mr. Ivory ordered his wings, is that correct?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Mr. Ivory ordered some wings
Yes.
along with the drinks.
Yes.
And there comes a point in time, though, that he's asked to leave, that's your understanding?
Yes.
And he pays for the wings and the drinks, correct?
Correct.
Right. Pays cash for it?
Correct.
And the bar back, who was, I believe, Jeffrey Bates, gets the styrofoam box.
Sure.
Okay. And Mr. Ivory then leaves the bar, is that correct?
Correct.
He leaves the wings on the bar, is that correct?
Correct.
And if Mr. Ivory left the bar, or when Mr. Ivory left the bar, the wings were still on the bar, were they not?
Correct.
If those wings were removed from the bar, Mr. Ivory would not know that. Would he?
No.
Ma'am, thank you very much.
No further questions.
Thank you, Amy. All right, we're going to go ahead and break for the day. We are going to start a little bit later tomorrow morning. because of the scheduling conflicts, and we're gonna have you come in at 9:15. We'll probably get scheduled about starting about 9:20, okay? So I'm just gonna remind you not to discuss this case amongst yourselves, don't permit anyone to discuss it with you in your presence, or decide the case, or investigate the case. Obviously, until you've heard all the evidence, you're not to decide the case. Also, I'm gonna remind you again, you're not to view any media whatsoever, not to read the paper, unless someone has screened it beforehand, or read any articles that may relate to this case. And you're not to go online and view any local, news sources. See you tomorrow, all right?